Hi, welcome to the Get Ready with God podcast. My name is Julie Taylor and I am your host. And I am not God. Obviously, I'm not an expert. I'm not even a scriptorian. I'm literally just a girl sitting in front of a microphone, hoping God is real. The Get Ready with God podcast is the daily devotional podcast to help you see divinity in every day. I'm trying to work on my pronunciation of words because I'm about to record my audiobook, and that is not something that I have the skill set to do, but the publisher asked me to do it, and I'm going to go for it. Pray for me. If you're listening to this podcast the day that it came out, I think if I've done my math right, it's my birthday. I think this episode will come out on my birthday. And for my birthday, what I would love is if you would share the podcast with someone. That's what I would love. I would love and appreciate. Share the podcast. Tag me if you share it online. Send it to a friend that you think might enjoy it. Spread the word. Happy birthday to me. Okay. I actually think that it's important that you tell people that it's your birthday because they feel really bad if they miss your birthday. And I just think it's a nice PSA because as someone who forgets people's birthdays chronically, it's a chronic problem that I have. I put them in my calendar. I stress a lot about it. It's a big burden. Every morning I wake up and I think, whose birthday am I missing today? So something that I've liked to do is to just get up in the morning and post on Instagram that it's my birthday. Not because I need attention, but mostly just because then I'm not a burden to anyone. No one has to worry about forgetting my birthday because I'll just tell you it's my birthday. Today's my birthday. Anyways, something that has plagued me most of my life is obedience. The concept of obedience, the threats around obedience, the ability to be obedient. It doesn't go well for me. I am a rebellious soul in the way that if you tell me to do something, I just won't do it. I just won't do it. Everything has to kind of feel like it's my idea. Really stupid stuff. And stuff that ends up like me not doing it is actually just self-sabotage. Like I will sabotage myself just to not have to like do what I'm told because I hate doing what I'm told so much. So how have I like had a job? We're all wondering that. We've all wondered how I've held a job. The thing is though, I'm actually happy to comply as long as I see the value in it. If I see the value in it, if it makes sense to me, happy to comply. Being obedient for the sake of being obedient, nope. And the minute that someone is like pushy or threatening or condescending, absolutely not. So when it comes to the divine and religion, we've had a long, rough road, and we still do. We still are on that rough road, to be very honest. My sister-in-law brought this up to me yesterday, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it because she said that she was preparing to speak, and she was kind of asked to speak on how her family has been blessed because of a certain type of obedience, like a thing that they're doing. And I love her for this. She was just kind of questioning it and being like, I don't know if that's really how it works. Like, do you get blessings because you're obedient? And do you get punished when you're not obedient? And this conversation comes up so often when I'm talking to people about leaving faith, because one of the scary parts of leaving faith is if you've been programmed to believe that you will be blessed for living a certain way and being a certain religion, or you'll be punished for not, it adds this layer of complexity when you start questioning your beliefs and your faith and your religion. So I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've navigated it myself. I've watched others navigate it. I think that I unpacked this one pretty quickly for myself because I've been rebellious my whole life. I think I made peace a long time ago with like, oh no, I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that like God punishes me that way. We say on this podcast all the time, good things happen to bad people, bad things happen to good people. And I think the quickest way to talk yourself into a real conundrum is to have to live in that black and white world where the good equals good and bad equals bad and there's no gray area and there's no nuance and that's it. That's just not how it works. It's not how it works. But let me reel myself back in because I'm going on too many tangents. Are we blessed for obedience? Obedience in a lot of faiths is a commandment from God to be obedient to certain things. It's a requirement for a lot of religions, and there's different ways that it's set up. There's punishments for disobedience or sinning. So how does this work? How does a rebellious soul find peace in a world of divinity that seems to demand obedience for blessings? Here's the thing. We're entering gospel according to Julie territory. Okay, so put on your safety glasses and leave if you don't want this. The more I think about it, the more I believe that it's much less about obedience and much more about sacrifice. And maybe this is like a duh to some people, okay? I think it's important to remember that I am like a rookie when it comes to actual like religion and faith, not a scriptorian, not well studied, okay? So sometimes things that feel like epiphanies to me, my more advanced religious friends are like, oh, cute, she just learned. Welcome to Religion 101. Welcome to Faith for Beginners. I think some of the guidance that God gives, well, all of it, I think all of the guidance God gives is for my own happiness. Like, hey, here's how you'll be the safest, the most happy, and the most fulfilled. I think that's much more what the commandments are about. I remember I went through this phase in my atheism where I was just like, man, God is so insecure. The Christian's God is so insecure. Why does God need constant praise and worship and full obedience and unquestioning followers? Only a very insecure God would demand those things. And as I've come to understand it differently, I don't think that's what it's about at all. I think that guidance and commandments, whatever you want to label them, from the divine are for our own happiness and fulfillment. And so therefore, when we don't adhere to those guidelines, there's often natural consequences in life that bring heartbreak and sorrow and suffering and struggle. Natural consequences that are not compounded by divine consequences. The natural consequence is usually enough when it comes to these things. So I think my old view of obedience is like a really immature view of like, wow, God's just so obsessed with everyone doing exactly what he says. Like, that's not what obedience is about. But I also do see the value sometimes in doing things that we don't see the point of doing as an act of trust of someone who knows more than us. So there are certain things that I ask my kids to do that they don't see the point in doing, but because I'm older and wiser and have a fully developed frontal lobe of my brain, I know why they need to be doing it. And so I do ask them to adhere or obey even when they don't see the point. And I feel that way about God as well. There are obviously many things that I do not fully know or understand that God does. And so there is a little piece of obedience too that I think, again, the natural consequences of following those will make my life and myself better. But I don't actually believe that God ever asks us to obey just because he needs to force our will and make us obey. And I don't think that blessings come from blind obedience. I don't think that that's what we're expected to do. What I do think is sometimes when we choose to use our will to follow God and God's direction, it always requires sacrifice, almost always doing what I'm told. Well, for me, for a personality like me, 100% of the time it requires sacrifice. Me working for other people requires sacrifice. And then the actual stuff itself can require sacrifice. Going to church on Sunday, I hate it. Every Sunday, I hate it. Every Sunday, I don't want to go. Every single Sunday. And I go, and that's a sacrifice. And do I get blessings because I go to church? And does someone who doesn't go to church not get those blessings? No, I don't think it's that black and white. I think that because I sacrifice to go to church, I do experience things that I wouldn't otherwise experience if I didn't. It's not about punishment and blessing. It's just a choose your own adventure. Anyways, I'm not articulating any of this very well, but I just wanted to say for all the rebellious souls out there, I don't think God is asking you to blindly follow. I don't think God is asking you to blindly obey. And I think that you will not be punished for your wandering. In fact, I know you will not be punished for your wandering. There might be natural consequences. And guess what? When you suffer them, God will be right there to help guide you through it and help you through it. 1000%. But when we think of obedience as a sacrifice, then all of the laws of sacrifice apply. Growth, change, effort matters. All of these things that play into sacrifice, I think, play into obedience. And it's much more about having that experience of growth and refinement than it is blindly following an insecure God. So I don't know if anyone else has that flavor of atheism running through their bones of like, why is God so insecure that he needs me to blindly follow him? Guess what? I don't think that's how it is. But I thought that for a long time, and I just wanted to bring it up on today, my birthday. I hope you have the best day. Love you. Bye.